My wife Sophia and her male best friend were celebrating at the company. I'm dragging my luggage. After leaving the divorce agreement, I decided to leave. Before leaving, I am still leaving messages on my social media accounts. I'm leaving. Make room for you guys. Half an hour later, Sophia called and said, "James, have you caused enough trouble?" I couldn't help but sneer. Response said, "I don't want you anymore. I don't care who you're with either." Result: she's in a hurry. The main text begins, "Remember to subscribe if you like." On my birthday, I sent my wife Sophia to work. Before getting off the car, I asked her, "Today is my birthday. Come back early. I have something to tell you." She remained silent for a long time, finally nodding in agreement. Sophia and I have been married for 3 years. She is a senior executive of a listed company. I am a part-time designer. I usually make money by taking orders. The income is quite substantial. But compared to Sophia, there's still a big gap. As a man, my wife earns more than me. Most people may feel stressed. But I didn't. I met Sophia when I was 16 years old. I fell in love with her at first sight. She's 3 years older than me. First year of high school enrollment. She returned to school as an outstanding senior to give a speech. The graceful profile of the young girl left a lasting impression on me. After the speech, I want to take a photo with her. Why are there too many people? I can't squeeze in at all. In haste, I shouted loudly, "Sophia!" She turned her eyes and smiled. I took the opportunity to press the shutter button. I left a photo behind. Thereafter, I followed in Sophia's footsteps and got into college, becoming her junior brother. I will pursue it in 3 years. Sophia only agreed to date me. If it weren't for her family's urging for marriage, I may never have the chance to marry her. However, I only understood after getting married. Some people's hearts, it can never be warmed up. Today is my birthday. I specially ordered a cake. I made a table of dishes, waiting for Sophia to come back with joy in my heart. You can wait from 6 to 9. She didn't even show up. I couldn't resist calling her. But no one responded. Just when I was getting impatient with waiting, David sent a video. In the picture, Sophia is holding him tightly. The two of them hugged each other and laughed heartily. Sophia's colleagues are by her side. Everyone is very happy. I even opened champagne. Immediately after, David sent a message. "James. Sophia, let's talk about the project in California. Celebrating. Don't disappoint me." This message completely shattered the last glimmer of hope in my heart. I should have thought of it earlier. Sophia always puts me last. I didn't reply. Just heated up the food. I ate it myself. Subsequently, I lit a candle. After blowing it out, I made a wish. At the age of 16. I wish I could be with Sophia for the rest of my life. At the age of 26 today, I made a wish to set her free. Also let go of myself. As early as a year ago, I just realized that Sophia and David have an extraordinary relationship. David is her best friend. When Sophia is tired, the first thing that comes to mind is always the plan that Sophia can't figure out. David is on horseback. It often makes her much easier. At first, I thought David was just her right-hand man at work. I didn't expect it. David's gaze towards her was full of ambiguity. Their actions between them. I have already surpassed the boundaries of an ordinary friend. Thereafter, I frequently receive anonymous messages. The phone is filled with intimate photos of the two of them. When I first saw these photos, I was in a panic in my heart. Interrogate Sophia. But she appeared somewhat impatient. "James. It's just a hug. I am friends with David. Stop messing around." I asked Sophia and David to keep their distance, even finding someone to intentionally hug her and stimulate her. But Sophia saw through my intentions. I've been hanging out for a whole week. Sophia told me with practical actions. Threats are useless to her. Later, I won't make any more noise. Just secretly swearing in my heart. Wait until we receive 100 photos like this. I'll leave. Nowadays, there haven't been 100 photos yet. But I can't hold on anymore. Each photo is like a small knife. Draw wounds on my heart, causing me unbearable pain. At midnight that evening, Sophia still hasn't come back. My birthday has passed. What I originally wanted to say to her. There's no need to say anything else. I packed my luggage. Leave a divorce agreement. Turn around and leave without hesitation. Some things. Not now. There won't be another chance. The next morning, I took the earliest plane to Washington. Apart from traveling, this trip. There's one more important thing. The doctor once gave me advice. James, the neurosurgeon specialist at Washington Medical University, is the most renowned in the country. If you go there, perhaps there is still a glimmer of hope. I have a tumor in my brain. I have been frequently fainting recently. Sometimes my eyes turn black. I can't see anything. The doctor said the tumor is compressing the optic nerve. Ultimately, it may lead to blindness. I don't want to die so early yet. Although the condition is even more severe than I imagined. But I can only procrastinate as much as possible. As for Sophia, I have decided not to be persistent anymore. I just got off the plane. Sophia called over. James. What do you mean? What are you up to? Her voice had a hint of hoarseness. There is also obvious anger. I raised my eyebrows and looked up at the sky. Clear sky for thousands of miles. Along with it, my mood has also become much more relaxed. I calmly said to her, Sophia, yesterday was my birthday. On the other end of the phone, Sophia's breathing froze instantly. She immediately said, I'm sorry. Don't wait for her to finish speaking. I interrupted directly, I know. You discussed the order for California. Congratulations. At this moment, with a surprisingly calm mood, he continued, why don't you sign? I'll be back in a month. Surprisingly, Sophia is not angry. Instead, he said indifferently, you're in a bad mood. It's okay to go out and relax. Let's not talk about divorce. I haven't received my response yet. I hung up on the other end of the phone. Immediately after, a receipt message was sent from the phone. Sophia transferred a huge sum of money to me. Enough for me to eat, drink, and have fun outside for a month. Unfortunately, I don't have much time left. After I went to the hospital and completed the procedures, I just went to school once. This is my alma mater. I followed Sophia to get into this prestigious university. I spent 4 wonderful years here. Looking back now, those days seemed like yesterday. Walking on the familiar tree-lined avenue, I can't help but think of the past. Then, I always create encounters with her here. Sophia always asks me with a faint smile, James, we ran into each other 3 times today. Do you have anything you want to tell me? I blushed. After a while, he held back a sentence. Do you eat pork ribs? I'll do it for you. Sophia, who is used to seeing flowers and luxury goods. I probably didn't expect me to impress her with just one meal. A serving of sweet and sour pork ribs. She had a different feeling towards me. Later, we also confirmed our romantic relationship at the dinner table. She wiped her mouth. Tell me, do you want to give it a try? Memories up to this point. My brain suddenly throbbed with pain. I squatted down instantly. The pain spreads along the head. There was another pitch black before my eyes. I quickly swallowed 2 pills. It took a while to recover. Here. Mobile phone receives a message. It's from that anonymous number again. Do you think everything will be fine once you go out? James. Give up now. This is after the photo. He sent me a message for the first time. It seems that he is also starting to worry. Oof. I don't care anymore. I accidentally blocked this number. After pulling the black number, I walked around the campus alone. It's like leaving one last thought for oneself. Subsequently, he was hospitalized. For the convenience of treatment, I had my head shaved off. Looking at the man with a dark face in the mirror, a hint of sourness rose in my heart. But the other party still doesn't give up. Persistently message me. I can't bear to be disturbed by it. Until he sent me a video. Sophia and David are in the bar in the picture. Under dim lighting, the 2 of them behaved intimately. 10 fingers tightly clasped together. Their smiles are like a sharp blade. It hurt my eyes. Sophia, this is what you said to ease my mind. So it's convenient for you to enjoy yourself. I took a deep breath. Immediately after. Message from the other side. Exit now. You're not worthy of her. That's really funny. I have decided to withdraw. It's just that Sophia doesn't seem willing. After all, she is a senior executive of a listed company. If it were to be exposed as scandalous news, my career is probably ruined by this. This anonymous whistleblower. Obviously, I haven't taken this into consideration. Perhaps he has thought of it. I just don't care at all. Or maybe he thought I would choose to endure. Resolve privately. That's why they're so reckless. What a clown. I didn't pay attention to him. By the way, I blocked this number. When Sophia called me, I just used her card to swipe over 100,000 yuan. Surgical fees plus various miscellaneous expenses. It is indeed a considerable expense. The old expert looked at me, said with a smile, "Young fellow, take it easy. Let's overcome the difficulties together." After hearing that, my nose is sore. I almost cried. From Los Angeles to Washington, I am alone. After entering the hospital, the doctor learned that I was hospitalized alone. My eyes are full of sympathy. He also takes extra care of me on a regular basis. I didn't expect it. In this unfamiliar city, strangers can bring me so much warmth. Sophia asked on the phone, "James, how are you doing over there? Spending so much money. Are you feeling better now?" Her tone of voice remained cold and indifferent. Through the phone, I can feel her displeasure. "Yes? I'm sorry. It's not that bad, is it?" Sophia paused for a moment. Just asked, "James, when will you come back? Mom and Dad are still asking where you went. I've been out for a week now. I also played what I should have played. I just got hospitalized today. Nature wouldn't go back so quickly." At this moment, the voice of the little nurse came. 28 beds. Blood was drawn. You're in the hospital. Sophia's words made me laugh uncontrollably. It seems she hasn't been home for several days. Whenever she goes home, you will find that my diagnosis certificate is on the coffee table. I slowly spoke up and said that I feel a bit unwell. Come over and check it out. Sophia. These days, you didn't come home. I'm waiting for her explanation. As long as she can give me a reasonable explanation, I am willing to choose to believe in her. Sophia fell silent for a moment. That's why I continued talking. I am busy recently. I live in the company. Still with David. I'm not asking, but rather confirming. Because at this moment, I have a few more photos in my phone. The time watermark shows that it was from last night. Sophia is sleeping soundly in the photo. There is a man holding her beside her. The two embraced each other and fell asleep. A peaceful expression of time. Seeing these, I couldn't help but sneer. Did you sign the divorce agreement? These 300,000. Consider it as property division. Sophia was furious. Don't even think about it. James. What the hell are you up to? I told you before. I'm just friends with him. You stay at home all day, bored. My brain is suffocating. I tell you. Not overdue STH. Almost done. I'm not angry at all. Just casually asking her. Sophia. If one day I die, will you feel sad? Can't. James. Come back. Let's talk. I let out a sigh. Why is getting divorced so troublesome? I was just about to hang up the phone. David's voice came from over there. Sophia. He suspected me again. Alas. If I had known, I wouldn't have come back. I'll just say it. James, be careful. Don't worry about him. I think he's having too many good days. What else did they say later? I'm not in the mood to listen. I directly cut off the phone. A dull pain hit my head. I endured the dizziness. Click on my social media account. Sent a dynamic message. I'm leaving. Make room for you guys. I also specifically mentioned Sophia and David. I am currently a patient. Just treat me like I'm being careful. Sophia just talked about the project in California. I'm doing this. Instantly causing the interruption of cooperation between the two companies. During the interval of waiting for the inspection results, I went to the small garden behind the hospital. I took a few photos of myself. I casually posted it on my social media. The sunshine is good. The scenery here is unique. Following closely, Sophia's call came. James. You're really disgusting. Do you insist on destroying me? Why don't you go to hell? I heard Sophia cursing on the phone. For a moment, I was a bit confused. I just felt something in my heart shatter with a click. Immediately after, I seemed to hear someone calling for a doctor. And Sophia's impatient voice. James. What are you playing again? When I woke up again, the doctor looked at me seriously and asked. James. Where's your family? I calmly replied. I don't have any family. Go ahead, please. I can bear it. My parents divorced and started their own families when I was 10 years old. For so many years, I have always been alone. I have long been accustomed to being alone. I have also become accustomed to handling everything on my own. Upon hearing this, a hint of sympathy flashed in the doctor's eyes. Immediately said, the inspection results are not optimistic. Brain tumors grow rapidly. In terms of surgery, the survival rate is only 30%. But without surgery, my heart sank. Looking at him and asking, speak up. How much longer can I live? The doctor pursed his lips. Continue speaking. If we don't intervene, 3 months. Even shorter. I know in my heart. 3 months may already be considered a lot. After all, this tumor grows too fast. Recently, the frequency of seizures has been increasing. I had dizziness from the beginning. Up to now, headaches and even temporary blindness. I know the doctor is not exaggerating. James. You're still young. Have confidence. The doctor's encouragement forced me to smile. I nodded. I still decided to take a gamble. Choose surgery. I have decided to undergo surgery. The doctor helped me develop a surgical plan as quickly as possible. I will also fully cooperate. Just such a big surgery. Family member's signature required. I insist on signing it myself. And wrote an explanation. Indicate that if something happens, do not seek medical attention. Wait until these are done. It's already the 3rd day. Here. The rumors about me and Sophia have been circulating on the internet. Someone even released photos of Sophia and me getting married. And a photo of her with David. Instantly causing a huge uproar. I rarely check my phone in the hospital. But you can still see related push notifications. I swear. Those photos were not posted by me. But when I see these, my eyes can't help but feel a little stinging. Next second, a sharp pain hit my mind. I couldn't help but hunch my body. The whole person arched into a big shrimp. Cold sweat keeps coming out. In the photo, Sophia Shalou fragrant shoulders. David lowered his head and pressed it against her neck. The intimate look between the two of them. Anyone who reads it will suspect that their relationship is not simple. My face turned pale in pain. There was darkness in front of me. At this moment, Sophia's call has arrived. I used all my strength to lift my hand and connect. Sophia's voice came in. Are you crazy? Hurry up and come back to me. Explain it clearly immediately. The company suspended me because of this matter. James. Are you satisfied? I bit my lip. Painfully speaking. Sophia. Let's get divorced. Left me. You can be with him openly and honestly. Why deceive oneself and others? Don't even think about it. James. Even if you die, you are still mine. She hung up the phone. I can't help it anymore. I fainted. When I woke up again, the ward is quiet. I looked up and saw. Found blurred vision. Hurry up and call a doctor. James. Your condition cannot wait any longer. Developing too fast. Upon hearing this, I remained silent for 15 minutes. Ultimately, the decision was made to undergo surgery. Regardless of the outcome. I don't even regret it. When scolded by Sophia, I'm not angry. I just feel a bit regretful. She hasn't divorced me yet. Nowadays, there is a lot of verbal abuse online. I also became the object of sympathy. Actually, I don't want to attract so many people's attention. I just don't want the person who posted the photo to be too proud. Half an hour later, I was sent to the operating room. Took anesthesia. I don't know what happened afterwards. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back at home in Los Angeles. The moment I saw Sophia, I was stunned. Open your mouth and ask. Why did I come back? Did the surgery succeed? Sophia. I haven't finished speaking yet. Sophia got up and walked towards me. But it went straight through me. I was instantly stunned. Too scared to make a sound. It took me a while to realize. She can't see me. I looked at my own hands. I want to touch Sophia. But it fell short. At that moment, I'm completely dumbfounded. I'm dead. Died on the operating table. Original. The tumor is bigger than the doctor imagined. At the moment of craniotomy. Compressed blood vessel rupture. The final rescue was ineffective. That 30% miracle never happened. I was slightly stunned. Then I realized that I haven't divorced yet. It's really a bit regrettable. It seems like Sophia needs to make a trip again. Because of my post. Netizens have launched a human flesh mode. It has caused a lot of trouble for Sophia. This moment. She impatiently opened the door. Put David in. The two of them began to discuss how to deal with it. I don't want to listen to their conversation. Just about to leave. I heard David say. Ask James to come forward and clarify. More effective than the two of us saying 10,000 words. Give him money. Let him propose the conditions. Otherwise, your position won't be guaranteed. How many people in the company are watching you? I thought to myself that I should step forward. I'm afraid not. I'm already dead. How can I help them? I am sitting on the sofa. Watching Sophia call me. The phone is always turned off. Yeah, that's right. I'm already dead. Who else would charge my phone? Sophia's face is getting uglier and uglier. I couldn't help but smash my phone. Shouted angrily. Bastard. James did it intentionally. Until today. She's still blaming me. However, I'm a little curious. Where did my diagnosis go? Look around. I didn't see that piece of paper. But I clearly remember putting it on the table when I left. Watching Sophia get angry. David patted her shoulder. Sophia. Why don't we just make an official announcement? Sophia suddenly looked up. I beg your pardon? That's the only way. Only then can we smoothly overcome the difficulties. James is not answering the phone. Doesn't that mean he doesn't care? Since he's not coming back. We just. Sophia interrupted him. No. Not now. I looked at her. Some unexpected incidents. I thought the two of them had already crossed the final line. Even if it's officially announced now, I wouldn't find it strange. But Sophia actually refused. A hint of displeasure flashed through David's eyes. Continuing to say. Sophia. Have you fallen in love with him? I got married just to reassure my uncle and aunt, right? I was suddenly taken aback. Then he smiled bitterly and shook his head. Yeah, that's right. I knew from the beginning. This marriage is just a formality. I have been following Sophia for 3 years. She just agreed to date me. After graduation. I'm worried she might break up. I followed her to settle down in this city. Desperately accepting orders. Just to give her a grand wedding. On the day of marriage proposal. Sophia said. James. I'm not interested in these. Just getting married. Just get a certificate and have a meal. Everything is simple. Although I had regrets at that time. But when I think about Sophia becoming my wife soon, I still agreed. On the day of obtaining the license. I laughed like a fool. I secretly took a photo of myself and Sophia together. After washing it out, it was hidden in the photo album. After marriage. I don't have much contact with her parents. Just occasionally receiving phone calls. They all instructed me to take good care of Sophia. Now I'm dead. Sophia suddenly became a widow. This title doesn't sound very pleasant. Her family should be very angry, right? Sophia took a deep breath and said. Let me think about it carefully. Sophia. Please hesitate further. I'm afraid the company will completely abandon you. David's words made me a little curious. Are netizens really so versatile? Or is it that the two of them have already broken through the moral bottom line and are together? Otherwise, how could things be so serious? But Sophia still insists on her own ideas. She sent David away. Just sat down. Sophia received a call. I'll take a look. The phone call note is my name. That's not right. I'm already dead. How could I call her? After connection. Sophia regained her usual cool tone. James. Have you caused enough trouble? Excuse me, is this James' lover? This is Washington Hospital. James' surgery failed. Death due to ineffective rescue efforts. Please come to handle the procedures. I also heard the sound on my phone. It turned out to be a call from the hospital. Maybe they found my phone. After charging, I contacted Sophia. The note I gave her was wife. That's why we were able to contact her so quickly. Sophia heard that. Suddenly, his face turned pale. I haven't come to my senses for half a day. Excuse me, are you listening? I am here. You say? Sophia responded with difficulty. The other side remained silent for a few seconds. Continuing to say. Spread of brain tumor. Surgical failure. He said he has no family. I signed the surgical risk statement myself. Could you please come over now? Take him home. Hang up the phone. Sophia is a bit confused. Repeatedly confirmed that this is not a prank. I watched her face turn increasingly pale. Then she went crazy and rushed out of the house. I was attracted by an inexplicable force. Follow her out together. 3 hours later. When Sophia saw my body, I finally believed that I am dead. When I first saw that body, I was also startled myself. All hair has been shaved off. There are still stitched marks on the head. Although the cleaning is relatively clean. But that scar was like an ugly centipede lying on its head. Anesthesia was administered during the surgery. That's my last memory in this world. I only remember the doctor encouraging me. James. Come on. Let's create miracles together. I smiled at him. I fell asleep in just a few seconds. Before losing consciousness, I was still thinking. It's good to die like this. At least I didn't suffer too much pain. No need to suffer anymore. God has shown me some favor. Despite the rapid deterioration of the condition. But I didn't suffer too much torture. I haven't had the chance to completely separate from Sophia yet. I had already thought about it before the surgery. If the surgery is successful and there is no death, I will go on a trip. Look at the outside world. Forget about the unpleasantness if you die. It doesn't matter. I plan to donate the remaining money. Life does not bring death, and death does not bring it. Looking at myself under the white cloth, I laughed. So I look like this. Except for the somewhat unsightly hairstyle. Other aspects. It seems pretty good. The moment Sophia saw my body, I fainted on the spot. After waking up again, she remained silent. Just silently changing my clothes and cremating me. After completing all the procedures. Take my urn back with you. Watching her in a daze. I can't help but sigh. Sophia. Forget it. Find any place and scatter my ashes. So I can still travel with the wind. Don't be too sad. Surgery inherently carries risks. I'm dead. You don't happen to be able to be with him anymore. Along the way, David made several phone calls. But Sophia didn't even answer. Looking at Sophia's appearance, I'm a little surprised in my heart. I don't know if she's really grieving for me. Still feeling sorry for herself. I want to leave. But he couldn't get rid of her. I can only follow her back. Sophia chose a good cemetery for me. Expensive price and spacious space. All she spent was her money. She bought a double grave. I feel a bit unlucky in my heart. I just want to be alone and quiet. But after all, it didn't cost anything. I'm not qualified to pick and choose. On the day of burial, only Sophia was present. She has red eyes under her eyes. Not to utter a single word. After returning home, she was lying on the sofa holding my portrait. Not eating or drinking. Seeing her like this, I can't help but find it funny. Assume. Why bother? I'm already dead. Who are you showing this to? I shook my head. I feel increasingly unable to see through her. 3 days pass like this. I can't take it anymore. I want to go out for a walk. But as soon as I arrived at the door, I was bounced back by an invisible force. Alas. She won't leave. I can't leave either. Sophia. You can leave now. I still want to see this world. I stood in front of her. I reached out and shook my hand. Suddenly, she seems to be looking into my eyes. I was scared and stumbled. Sophia. I tried calling her name again. However, she didn't react. Not so bad. She can't see me. Sophia started searching around my house for my things. Before leaving, I collected all my luggage. Only the book in the cabinet remains. I watched her walk towards the study. I suddenly felt a little anxious in my heart. But on second thought, forget it. Up to now, there's no need to keep it hidden anymore. Quickly, Sophia discovered the book in the cabinet. After opening it and taking a few glances, her eyes instantly turned red. March 1st. Sophia looked at me. She still remembers me. Splendid. March 4th. I waited on this road for 2 hours today. Finally arrived at her. Invite her to have dinner together. She agreed. March 5th. Sophia said she's very busy. Tell me not to waste my time. Feel stifled. I was immediately seen through. But I won't give up. This book was written by myself. The book is titled The Days I Was with Sophia. It records the bits and pieces between her and me inside, going all the way back to before I went to Washington. November 3rd. I received another photo. Above is a photo of Sophia and David together. They embraced each other. Very intimate. I have made a decision. Received 100 photos like this. Just say goodbye to Sophia. We can't delay her in finding her own happiness. November 4th. That number sent me 2 more. This photo is even more revealing. Sophia said she would come back for dinner, but ended up going to a Western restaurant with David. November 8th. I bought a gift for Sophia. She never opened it. November 9th. The physical examination report is out. The situation is not good. Should I tell her? I watched Sophia shed tears like rain, crying uncontrollably while holding that book. I couldn't help but sigh. I blew a gentle breath towards her. I saw a gust of wind pass by. Sophia was instantly startled. Quickly look around. Is that you? James. Is that you? She was lying on the ground. At this moment, she is as fragile as a glass doll. I shrugged my shoulders, silently speaking in my heart. Everything has passed. I'm not angry with you anymore. 1 week later, David has arrived. Seeing Sophia's appearance, he was startled. How did you become like this? Sophia shook her head. Ask the way. What are you doing here? Sophia. What I told you last time. Have you really taken it to heart? This is the processing result given to you by the company. If you just recognize it like this, all these years of effort have been in vain. He brought a dismissal notice from the company. At the same time, it also comes with a claim for compensation. Sophia saw these. But I don't care. Just put the paper aside. Then he spoke softly. It was you who did it. David was instantly stunned. What? Sophia took out my phone and handed it to him. I really can't figure it out. Why does he insist on divorcing me? Even traveling far away from home. Go have surgery alone. Now I understand everything. It's all you. David. Do you find someone to take these photos every day to stimulate him? I remember only you used this number. These photos. Except for you. I never thought there would be a third person who knew. When Sophia saw the photo on my phone, his face suddenly darkened. How could she not know? Who wouldn't be angry if they saw this kind of photo? Sophia fell to the ground dejectedly. Murmur to oneself. No wonder. James asked me to come back early on his birthday. Tell me something. But you. He forcefully pulled me to celebrate the victory. Why do you say birthdays are optional? James must be completely disappointed. Only then will they choose to leave. David. You make me sick. Faced with her questioning, David remained silent for a long time. Then he sneered and said, Sophia. You're hypocritical. Sophia looked at him with a shocked expression. Obviously, I didn't expect him to say that. I'm listening on the side. I actually feel that what he said makes some sense. How can a person want everything? It's not that easy. David continued to stimulate her, saying, You don't love him either. What's the point of questioning me now? Isn't it your job and future that you care about? Don't tell me. You're fighting for him. I just said one thing at the time. It's up to you to make the decision. Speak up. He tightly hugged Sophia's arms. Said with excitement on his face. We agreed to work hard together. Now you're risking your life for a man. Look at yourself now. He dragged Sophia to the bathroom. Press her head. Force her to look in the mirror. Looking at the exhausted woman in the mirror, Sophia suddenly smiled bitterly and said, David. I knew from the beginning. He and I each take what we need. James is not the kind of person who is insatiable in greed. He's different from you. David heard this, suddenly stunned. Then he burst into laughter. Be insatiably avaricious. So that's who I am in your heart. Sophia. And what about you? You pretend to be aloof. Actually, in order to climb up. What have you done? You know it in your heart. Sophia turned her head. Looked at with angry eyes. Roaring loudly at David. You are greedy for the future. Being with the dean's daughter. Don't think I don't know. I just took the wrong step. I turned back in time. David sneered coldly. We're just taking what we need from each other. What I'm telling you now is that career is the future. I just don't want to see you continue like this. For a man. Unworthy. Online public opinion. I have already found someone to handle it. But you still need to send a statement. If you don't make a statement, our project is completely finished. The company attaches great importance to this cooperation. I hope you prioritize the overall situation. Sophia looked at him. Coldly speaking. You go back. David is unwilling to leave. He asked impatiently. Tell me the truth. I absolutely can't miss it again this time. I have waited too long for this day. If there is an unfounded charge because of this, I have to start over from scratch. Sophia couldn't resist any more. He raised his hand and slapped David, crying and saying, There's no need for it. You're not playing tricks behind the scenes. Stimulate him. How could he post such a weebo? This slap completely angered David. He threw Sophia to the ground without hesitation. I was startled. Angry beyond measure. Hurry up and rush up to stop him. But I found that I couldn't catch him at all. David! Do you dare? David looked at Sophia on the ground. Eyes full of disdain. Yes? Angry and embarrassed. What good thing are you again? You're not giving me an illusion. Give me the signal. Let me get closer to you. What are you pretending to be with me? Who doesn't know what makes you a top executive? Speak up. David threw down a piece of paper. If you don't make a statement, the big deal is that the fish die and the net breaks. Subsequently, he slammed the door and walked out. I'm a little curious. Squat down and look at that piece of paper. Suddenly, there was a buzzing sound in my head. That's a guarantee letter. Above is Sophia's handwriting. In college. Sophia wants experimental data. Not willing to have sex with senior students. After being caught by the senior's real girlfriend, I was forced to write this guarantee letter. I'll take 2 steps back. I can't help but shake my head. The last trace of sympathy for her in my heart disappeared without a trace. Recalling the time when I pursued her. I pursued for 3 years but was rejected. Until the night before his birthday. Sophia suddenly found me. There are still injuries on the face. I asked her who did it. She said it was accidental. At that time, there were rumors and gossip in school. I was deeply immersed in love at that time. I didn't really care about that much. Plus, Sophia agreed to date me. As soon as my mind became hot, I announced it directly. I want to come now. Sophia was taught a lesson. Use me as a spare tire. To prevent the senior's girlfriend from causing trouble for her again. I'm really stupid. I turned around and walked into the bedroom. Sophia's sobbing could be heard outside. This moment. I just want to leave quickly. And my tombstone. I also want to change it. Why hasn't the lawyer come yet? I paid a lot of money to hire him. Why hasn't it worked at all? I sat in the bedroom with a lonely expression on my face. Sophia's crying in the living room made my head ache. I might as well close my eyes and rest. I can't leave anyway. These 2 days. Sophia has been constantly decadent. Because of this love triangle. Public opinion continues to ferment. Even someone dug me out and found out that I was already dead. This suddenly caused even greater waves. The original match was forced to die tragically. Famous corporate executive extramarital affair male best friend. As soon as this article is published, netizens have all exploded. There are constant curses. The official website of Sophia's company is the first to bear the brunt. Netizens left messages one after another. Your company is really bold. To make such a person an executive. This woman looks very casual at first glance. Poor man. Wearing a green hat without saying anything. He also has a terminal illness. Sophia. Old green tea. When I was a third party at school, I was beaten up. I turned around and found a spare tire. That David is not a good thing either. A scumbag paired with a cheap girl. I looked at the comments on my phone. My heart is calm. The love from my youth. Until now, there are very few left. Sophia and David's past. I don't want to delve deeper. I just don't want to stay here anymore. When the police arrived, Sophia got very drunk. The company cannot contact her. I had to call the police. Sophia was taken to the hospital. I also followed along. Original. Sophia committed suicide by swallowing medication at home. Still holding my book tightly in his hand. Fortunately, she didn't die. The moment she opened her eyes. Sudden tightening of pupils. Suddenly pounced over. James. It's you. Is it? I was startled. Can she see me? He's dead. At this moment, I heard a voice. Look back. It turns out to be a lawyer. He has finally arrived. Sophia. I am James' authorized lawyer. There's something I need to inform you about. Sophia listened to the lawyer's words. Emotions immediately became excited. Impossible. She fell to the ground. My eyes were filled with shock. I haven't divorced him yet. How could he just leave when he wants to? The lawyer answered seriously, Sophia. James has entrusted me to file a divorce lawsuit. Just haven't had a chance yet. He said. Let him go. Let you go too. Your illicit relationship with David. All the evidence has been collected. James means. I hope you don't use your marital relationship to bind him. Sophia collapsed on the ground. It took me a long time to smile and say, James. I'm really disappointed. I've saved enough. Not giving me a chance anymore. Is it? James gave you 100 chances. You didn't cherish it yourself. I found the lawyer. He charges a high fee. But I think it's worth it. When we found him. At first, he was unwilling to take my case. I will keep the remaining money after the surgery. And this house is all mortgaged. Just to completely sever ties with Sophia. Now it seems. My choice is right. He speaks directly and sharply. Sophia doesn't believe it at all. Started to become hysterical. And my lawyer just left a few sheets of paper. Remind her. This house has already been mortgaged. It will soon be auctioned off. I hope you can pack up your things and move out as soon as possible. After the lawyer left, Sophia looked at those few sheets of paper, crying and laughing at the same time. That's the will I left behind. When I learned that Sophia and David were together, I knew it. I can't hold on anymore. In this marriage, I have always been the one giving. Sophia is neither cold nor hot to me. Married me for 3 years. We don't have any children. Sophia always says that career is important. The child can take it later. I like children. I want to make the house lively. But she doesn't want to. I didn't force myself either. Seeing her and David recklessly entering and exiting various occasions, I will be jealous. But she asked me not to be so careful. It's all for work. I stepped back step by step. What they got in return was their intensification. Sophia is unwilling to divorce. Due to marital issues among executives of listed companies. It will affect her future prospects. All the effort she made. It's all for her own sake. I'm just a tool person. I have hated it before. But there's nothing I can do about it. Fortunately, I'm sick. Death has become my only liberation. I watched Sophia with regret and guilt. Constantly tinkering with oneself. But there was no ripple in my heart. A lawyer is indeed a person with strong execution ability. My house was soon auctioned off. Sophia was forced to move out. But I didn't expect it. She actually spent money to buy the house back again. The day we moved back, Sophia publicly disclosed her relationship with David online, admitting infidelity. David's black material was also exposed. The two of them leaked information to each other online. Sophia seems to have activated suicide mode. Shake out all the insider information in the industry. As a result, the company was also investigated. Final. David was fired. The company has also undergone a major overhaul. Heavy losses. Netizens are all watching the excitement. Occasionally make a few comments. In short, everyone thinks Sophia is taking it upon herself. After completing all of this, Sophia is holding my book. gently caressing my portrait. Swallowed sleeping pills. Before death. She looked at my figure. Suddenly, a glimmer of light flashed in my eyes. And I. Turning around and drifting away. Finally free. After Sophia's death. The lawyer rushed over to handle the follow-up matters. Not so bad. In the end, she agreed to let me be buried alone. I also changed the tombstone. Finally give me back my freedom. I let out a long sigh. Silently speaking in my heart. Sophia. In this life, I have encountered people inappropriately. Hope for the next life. We should never meet again.